Hey, this is Mike Long with Napier Realtors and CVA Home Pros coming to you today with the very first installment of what I'm calling Tuesday Talks. It's hopefully going to be a weekly installment where I come to you and talk to you about really whatever's on my mind. It could be real estate related, something going on in the community. It could be a highlight of a local business. It could be just really anything that's going on. I'd like to keep them fairly short, under 5 minutes, just coming to you and really giving you some insight into what's going on around you. Today, I would really like to focus on the current real estate market and what's going on. Some of you may have heard some things. You may have heard that it's a hot market. You may have heard, it's a seller's market. But I'd really like to take a look at really what's going on with the statistics and break that down for you a little bit and tell you what it means for you. So right now I've got a website called InfoSparks pulled up, which ties into my MLS, pulls data from it, and really lets us analyze and see what's going on. I've got it set to pull data from the entire MLS, as well as from the Tri-Cities, since a lot of my clients do business in Tri-Cities area. We've got it working on the last year, so it's pulling information from the last year. And we can just sort of look at that and see. We can see right now, if we look at this tab that I have pulled up right now, is the median sales price over the last year. We can see here that home prices have increased pretty dramatically, 11.3% over the entire MLS, and 8.9% home prices are up in the Tri-Cities. So that's telling us that we are seeing home prices continue to rise. Some other things we can look at here. Homes for sale. So this is telling us each month how many homes are for sale. And we see this completely going down. It's been going down for quite some time now. In fact, over the last year, it's decreased 47.3% across the entire MLS and 59.5% in Tri-Cities. So homes for sale are definitely down. And if we take a look over here at this closed sales tab, we see the exact opposite. Over the last year, closed sales are up 25% in the entire MLS, 36% in the Tri-Cities alone. So homes are definitely selling. There's just not as many coming on the market. So that's where we talk about inventory. And you may hear us in the real estate world talk about inventory and wonder, well, what does that really mean? Inventory is what we call month's supply. And we get that information by taking those homes for sale over a current month and dividing it by the closed sales. And what it's really telling us, the month supply, how many months would it take if no more homes went on the market? How long would it take us to be completely sold out of homes and have no more for any buyers? Typically, we'd been seeing about 3 months of supply. But as you watch it progress downward here, we are at 1 month's supply of inventory. 1 month is really making it to where buyers are competing against what's there. There's not a lot of inventory and everybody's competing. So what does that really mean if you're a buyer? Well, let's look at the percentage of list price. The median percentage of list price, meaning what the home was listed for and what it's sold for. Typically, we were seeing somewhere 98%, and it dips down 97. We definitely see it dip down in some of the colder months. But look at this. March 2020, across the entire MLS, 100%, and it just flatlines. In the Tri-Cities, it was a little later, but it continued to flatline as well. I really would say this probably goes above 100% sometimes, but it looks like this graph just flatlines out at 100. So what we're seeing is homes are selling for at least what they're listed for, if not more. Something I found kind of interesting here, if you look at this date when these homes started selling for 100%, and you Google when did the COVID pandemic first reach Virginia? You see it was March 7th, 2020. You go back over here. March 2020 is when homes started selling and just continued to sell. So what does that really tell us about what we're seeing in the market right now? Well, pandemics really affect home sales. People who are quarantined realize that maybe they need to make a move. Maybe that's you. Maybe you decided you needed to make a move. What does that mean for you if you are in the market right now to purchase a home? Well, it means you need to be prepared. It means you need to know that inventory is low. 1 month's of inventory, so inventory is very low. So you're going to have less homes to look at, which means there's going to be more competition on those homes. Doesn't mean that you can't get one. And in fact, interest rates are still fairly low, so you can still get a home at an affordable price as far as your mortgage is concerned. But you need to be prepared. What that means is we need to have a conversation early on. We need to meet. We need to discuss your needs. You need to be pre-qualified or pre-approved with a lender so that when we find the right home for you, you're ready to jump right then. And also so that you know exactly what your buying power is. So it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means we need to be prepared. So if you're a buyer right now, let's get together. Let's have a meeting. If it's not in person, we can do it over Zoom. And we can discuss what your plans are for the future and what your needs are. And we can discuss, how we can negotiate the best deal in this market for you and what that's going to mean. On the flip side, for sellers, if you were thinking about selling, what does that mean for you? Well, let's look at this tab over here, days on market. You can see average wise, September 2019, the average on the MLS was 15 days. In January of 2020, it was 28 days. Well, recently we've been seeing 6 days, 10 days. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for if your home sells in 1 day? So we need to have a conversation as well. If you're thinking about selling, we need to talk about what this market's doing and how we can get you the most for your home, as well as where you're going to go if your home sells in a day. Do you have plans for that? All these things are things that you need to be considering when thinking about making a move, and I'd love to talk to you guys about it. So just wanted to give you a quick little insight on what's going on in this market. If you have any more questions or want to know more detailed into what's going on, I'd love to talk to you. For now, this is Mike Long with Napier Realtors, and I'd love to help you with all your real estate needs. I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.